4 minutes. 2.5 liter stock. Two-and-a-half-liter stocks. Boy, if you haven't figured out the start procedure for Jeff Bernard, you just haven't been paying attention this week. Jeff runs right straight across the race course here and goes over to the other side. Same thing he did Christina Molinaro, trying to get her boat started right here in front of us. So far, she hasn't got any life in it. Austin Ekert, he had the tough heat last time. 2 1-minute penalties and a DSQ. Come on, Christina, kick that thing over. This is the 2.5-liter stock final. Would hate to have the young lady come all the way out here from the East Coast and then have her weekend end right there. All right, let's quickly run them down. 2.5-liter stocks. Boat number 36, Austin Ekert. Jeff Bernard is behind boat number 12. It's bright yellow. You can't miss it. Boat number 20, it's all white, driven by Christina Molinaro. She's here from the East Coast. She's from the town of White Lake. Don't ask me what state. It's not on my cheat sheet. I don't know exactly where she's from, but somewhere back on the East Coast. There's Austin coming across start-finish line, really learning how to handle that boat, but he's got to keep it clean. A couple of penalties last time. Got to keep it clean. You got to be clean before you can race. Then we got the man they call Biscuit. Chris Pateros driving boat 137. He's the boat just coming off the exit pin up there in the corner. And Dave Triscoe in the red boat that is going to turn here and head over to the backstretch. So it does not appear as though Christina Molinaro is going to be able to run here. And that's a tough break. Love to have her supporting our racing as much as she is. But meanwhile, we are 1 minute and 56 seconds away from our start. Got a couple of guys trolling down here. Jeff Bernard, that yellow boat's going to want to be on the inside lane. Just to his right is Chris Pateros, driving for Team Toothpick. We're at 1 minute 40. Minute 40 as we count down. Now we're going to get some company down here with these guys. They still got some time to fill. They've got 15 seconds to kill before they can cross start finish line. Here comes Austin Ekert. He now sitting in lane number 3, and then it's Dave Triscoe on the outside. Unfortunately, Christina Molinaro is not going to answer the gun. So tough break from the young lady from back east. White flag goes up. We are racing. Bernard will be in 1, Pateros in 2, Ekert in 3, and Dave Triscoe in 4. This is the issue we had on the last heat. The positions I just called out as they cross the start-finish line, that's the same position they need to be in when they come across start-finish line to begin racing. That changed somewhere in the previous heat, and thus we had the issue. So far now, it looks much better. Bernard is still in 1, Pateros is still in 2, and Ekert is in 3. Triscoe, if he can catch up, will come to the outside and be in lane number 4. 2.5-liter stocks. This is their final. Good to see Triscoe running hard up there in the corner. Maybe he's going to get some boat speed. Come around on the outside. 26 seconds to our start. Counting down. 23, 22, 21, 20. Give it a minute here. They'll start to put the hammer down. The radio guys will say, go, 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 go. Pateros really pushing Triscoe out wide there. He was out to about lane number 5 or 6. He was trying to eat up some time as we are 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark may have had another gun jumping. May have had another one. Holy cow. It's going to be a tough day for Austin Ekert. He may have gotten across the line too early one more time. If not, he was right on the button. Meanwhile, we'll call him the way we see him on the water, and the way we see him is Austin Ekert. This looks like a carbon copy of the heat we just ran about a half an hour ago. Austin Ekert with a nice lead over Jeff Bernard, but just on the outside of Bernard is Chris Pateros driving for Team Toothpick. But did Austin Ekert jump the clock again? He was way out in front of everybody. Chris Pateros driving really hard on the outside of Jeff Bernard. He's really unhooking that boat, taking some hops up there. Now look at Bernard save ground and come down tight on the buoy rope. Pateros is going to turn inside too. He doesn't want to have to run outside the wash, being left by Austin Ekert. Jeff Bernard knows that, and what Bernard does is he pulls right up against Austin Ekrit's wash, and that'll make Fanaris run outside of the wash left by Austin Ekrit. Nice, smart move there by Jeff Bernard. Nobody said he was any new to this game. Austin Ekrit still got that same rooster tail, making 2 rooster tail lead over Jeff Bernard, and Jeff Bernard has really opened up water on Chris Fanaris. That was an excellent piece of driving by Mr. Bernard, and he is a solid second place, but the question remains, did Austin Ekrit jump the gun? We're going to call him as we see him on the water. The green flag flies. He'll come down and complete 2 of 4. Ekrit, boat running really well, but did he get across start finish line early? He's got 2 up, 2 down, 2 to go. Then it's Jeff Bernard. Now, Chris Fanaris is not out of this yet. The Team Toothpick guys they're not used to losing. In fact, they are used to winning. And Fanaris is going to pull up alongside Mr. Bernard. He got a little bit wet there because he's trying to stay right on the hip of Jeff Bernard. Jeff Bernard's radio man right here in front of me. He'll tell him exactly what Mr. Fanaris is doing. And what Bernard's doing right now is opening up some water between he and Chris Fanaris. Chris got pretty close down there into the lower corner at the end of lap number 2 at the start of lap number 3. Meanwhile, here comes our leader. It is Austin Ekrit staying wide on the buoy row. White flag will fly. That will tell him 1 more lap to go. But the question remains, did he jump the gun? Here comes Bernard staying wide. Now, interesting, now Fanaris is able to move inside Jeff Bernard as both of them get the white flag, showing 1 lap to go. Dave Triscoe up at the far end of the race course. See what Fanaris does here. He is inside Jeff. That's going to allow him to save a lot of ground here. Oh, and he got wet and he's over. He spun the boat. Chris Fanaris got caught in some rough water there, and you saw the boat. I believe he rolled. And now the boat is under power. And he is pulling the boat off of the race course. It is Chris Fanaris. And now Jeff Bernard appears to have perhaps hit a buoy, but the race we've got patrol boats running up and down the race course here. I believe our course has been shut down. Of most importance right now is Chris Fanaris actually drove the boat off of the race course. He has popped the lid down there, which is always a good indication. It appeared as though the boat hooked violently,